I believe not everybody can be an entrepreneur. Not everybody can take the risk. There is a bunch of stress that we go through and people don't see it. They just see the wins. Masterminding for me is very important. You get to learn from people and like from their experience. So I like to mastermind with people that are in a certain level.
You understand where you're going. You're going in there to learn. The other side benefits are like, you get to network, you get to grow psychologically, right? Because there's other people that are very friendly. Like we don't just accept anything.
Because they've gone through mistakes.
Yeah.
For you to get to that level, you need to go through mistakes. There is no way that you're successful and you never made a mistake.
Today we have Nick Guerrero, business owner, entrepreneur, and a true leader. From working in a corporate job now to making multiple six figures a month, being the expert in Amazon FBA, creating a community where he shares his insights, and today he's gonna share how he did it.
Hey guys, welcome back to another talk with business owners and entrepreneurs. Welcome, Nick.
What's good, bro?
So,
Thank you for having me.
If you could give us a little introduction about yourself and how did you start as an entrepreneur and like a little basis of what are you doing right now?
So right now, I resell products on Amazon. I'm an average of like 200K in sales per month. Pretty much trying to scale that up. We just resell already established brand name products on Amazon. We don't create our own brands, create our own listings. So if a shoe is selling for $55 on Nike.com, we're buying that shoe and selling on an Amazon listing in which we could profit on, right? Like if there's an Amazon listing selling for $135, we're making an ROI on that. My first journey into entrepreneurship, I pretty much started when I was 16. I tried to get a job, got rejected at Publix like 4 times. They wouldn't hire me. So I'm like, all right, fuck, I want to make money. Like, what do I do? So then I started replacing iPhone screens. Okay. So I started my own service-based business. I watched a YouTube video how to replace an iPhone screen. In 15 minutes, I learned, 15 minutes free on YouTube. And then I had my one-time cost, which was just buying the tools. That was like $12, and then an iPhone screen was $30, and then I would charge people $80, $90. So I learned how to do it, and then I would just have people come to my mom's house at the time with their fucked up iPhones, and I would just fix it for a profit. So
how do you used to market yourself?
It was just all Instagram. Like I would post on a story like, "Hey, I'm fixing iPhone screens," like, and then people like a lot of people that I didn't even know like would pull up, which is a little dangerous.
I mean, because you don't really know their intentions.
And they knew where I lived too. So like if I fuck up their phones, like they're gonna,
of course,
like, yo.
And how do you start at this Amazon thing? How do you figure out like, okay, this is my next move, like this is what I need to do?
Yeah, I mean, I always knew about selling on Amazon. It's just I was very big into trading on Forex. Okay, but it's very hard to trade Forex when you have a full-time job. So I had like a 9-hour work shift, an hour to drive there, an hour to drive back. So I'm like, holy shit, this is becoming like suicidal, trying to trade Forex and work this job. But long story short, I pretty much asked for a promotion from my manager to get more money, right? A salary increase, and they denied it. So I'm like, wow, like I just gave so much energy and time to a company and they can't even give me more money, like for a promotion, right? Like extra $1,000 a year. So then I'm like, okay, I need to get out of here now. Like I can't give any more of my time and energy towards a company that's not gonna give me more money. So I always knew about reselling on Amazon. My business partner, Max, was doing it at a smaller scale. Okay. So I started learning with him. We started understanding what arbitrage is, right? Just reselling on Amazon. And I knew about credit beforehand. So I started learning with him how we could buy from websites, buy from distributors, even in like Macy's, right? Like you go in there and just buy stuff. So we started buying a couple of products, and then I got a bunch of business credit cards. So I got like 90,000 in different credit cards.
0%.
Yeah, 0% interest. Yeah. So 0% interest. So I'm like, oh shit, I could play with this money for a year, finally. And then, I just started buying products, and second month I hit 62K in sales. And then after that, I just kept scaling because that's credit, just compounds. But
so just to make sure, you started as a normal employee and now you're a self-employed, you're an entrepreneur, and you have scaled like this business to a next level, right?
Yeah.
That's great, man. So let me talk about myself now. I'm Venezuelan. I came here when I was 14, and just like you, I started as a bagger in Whitney. And that was my first job. Then I was doing like a bosser in restaurants.
That sucks.
Then trust me, it does. And then all of a sudden I moved out of my house. I was 18 and I was just working to have this lifestyle in Miami. And then I figured that I didn't want that. I was like, I'm trapped in this. I don't want this. So I moved back to my parents' house and I started my own business. It was like a service-based. So I offer memberships in Sunny House for dog walkers, the dog sitting, all that kind of stuff. I started that like 5 years ago. Then from there, I met these guys here in Miami in F1 for real estate. Then I got my license. I started doing sales and doing like all these luxury connections because everybody that stays in these houses, they have a bunch of money. Like to stay in one of these houses, you have to pay at least $6,000 a night.
Wow.
So that's the cheapest one.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy. So it's like my network, it has increased so much, and my mind, it has expanded so much. Now I'm actually in a path of freedom, trying to establish myself and structure myself into trust, private banks, and all this stuff. So once I get to a certain point and level, nobody can fuck with me. Because here's the thing, here in America, we have the tools to, like, the credit, all the stuff to start a business and scale a business. But most of us, we don't know about trust. We don't know about wealth preservation, because with a lawsuit, you can lose all the work you have done in years. So I've been learning a lot about my status. I'm actually right now in the position of a state national, and I want to become a diplomatic. I will become a diplomatic. It's not complicated. It's basically you operate under the common law. That means that if you don't harm anybody, you're good. You're tax exempt, and you're in the do not detain list, so you can go fast if you want. You can do whatever. If you don't harm anybody, bro, you're good. That's literally how it works. So yeah, that's a little bit about me. And what plans do you have for your business in this next chapter? Because I see that you have a community as well. So I guess you're trying to like leave a legacy on all this stuff that you have learned. Well, what is the next step? What are you trying to do with that?
Yeah, so we've came to a point where pretty much my living room just couldn't hold all the products I was sending in. So I ended up working with a prep center. I would send the products to them in a sales tax-free state, so I would avoid the 7% sales tax that I pay here in Florida.
Okay.
But then I realized, like, okay, I want to keep this in-house cost, like a fixed cost, meaning like a rent, lease, mortgage, whatever.
Yes.
Because I would pay them a per unit cost. You can only do that at a certain point. So what my team and I ended up doing, it's 4 of us. We ended up going to New Hampshire and leasing out a 14,400 square foot warehouse. So there, we're just sending products there from distributors up in New York, Massachusetts, New Jersey, and online websites. So we're avoiding that 7% and then being able to play with suppliers up there. But we still have a prep center warehouse down here in Miami, so we could play with the suppliers down here in Florida. So we're trying to pretty much put a system in there that's automated, so we can have, or not automated, but that's efficient, so that way we can have employees in there. Everyone has their own specialized roles, tasks. So I want to delegate that, want to grow it up, optimize it, because you could see videos of like Amazon's fulfillment center. They have robots fucking picking up the shelves, and like we don't even have racks. So I want to optimize little by little. We're also doing a prep center there for our Amazon community and other Amazon seller clients.
Nice.
And yeah, we do have a community where we teach people how to resell products. But my goal with growing the community is not just like teaching them or introducing them to like other Amazon sellers in the community, but providing other services like the prep center. Now they could have a prep center that they could actually work with, rely, grow with. And then later on, I want to see like what other softwares are out there that aren't really optimized, and then come up with a better one to provide them to the community. And then just keep growing that, like providing more value pretty much for the community, instead of just saying like, we'll teach you and that's it.
Nice. So you're setting yourself apart from like all those Amazon sellers that they use. Oh, we give you the sauce, we give you the course. So you're not only selling the course, you're selling like the services that you provide, that your own company is providing, right?
Yeah.
And that you're using yourself. That's good. I mean, as you said, fucking Amazon has robots now. Like everything in the future is going to be automated by robots and AI.
Mm-hmm.
But it's good that you're still keeping it like on the ground with people actually working and learning about it. I actually have seen how like in Amazon, like it's kind of like drop shipping, but once like you have it on Amazon, like they can ship it as quick as, like days. I mean, Amazon is just the revolution. They're taking over with the food industry, with everything.
Yeah.
I believe they will do everything. Like they have every single category in their website. You can buy anything there, right?
Yeah, literally.
So tell me more about like let's talk about the sauce in Amazon. Like you gotta tell them something about Amazon that nobody knows. Let's say that I'm starting out. I wanna like start on Amazon. What would you tell me? How would I start out?
So I would first try to work on your mindset, because a lot of people that want to resell products, they're like, ooh, side hustle and like extra cash and like I just flip products. It's like, yes, but there's more to it than that, because it could all be fully delegated and automated. First, you want to learn how to, find products, learn how to prep, right? Because you buy a product from that website. Let's use that example, right? The shoe comes to your house, you prep it. So you have to put like a rubber band around it, label on it, ship it out to Amazon, and Amazon sends it out to your customers. But, okay, you just learn how to find products, right? But you want to delegate the prep part, so which is the prep center, right? You go ahead and partner with a prep center, you send it to them, they charge you a per unit cost, and they send it out to Amazon for you. It's like, okay, cool, you delegated that part. Now, what about you finding products? That's where you're spending time on. So that's where you could learn how to find products, and you hire a virtual assistant, like in the Pakistan, Philippines, India. Yeah, and then you teach them how to find products. So then they're sending you leads, right? And then you delegate that part. And then you just have to find a way to pretty much create a system where the virtual assistants are being able to get managed, and then they're in communications with your prep center. And that's it. You just have like a weekly meeting, make sure your store is good, and yeah.
And you mentioned something. You mentioned mindset. So when you said that, what does that mean? Like, do they have to like be prepared every day and do a little bit? How would you like tell your students like what's the right mindset they need to be successful in Amazon?
I would say the right mindset is to, yes, build your skills in every aspect of the business in the beginning, but focus on creating systems that work without you. So focus on creating systems that your virtual assistant can be inside of and work. So that way you could take yourself out of that system and have it work without you. Because then it just, like, you don't see the owners of Walmart at the cashier register, right? You don't see them like scanning products no, they have employees there, and then there's a manager on top of it, and then like a vice president on top. So they have a hierarchy. So I tell them, okay, focus on finding products, but then build a system around it. And then by system is like, it's the boring shit, the shit that no one wants to do, like the accounting and keeping track of all the orders, products you place, the products that don't come in. Like, you have to find a way around that. But it's easier now than before because of AI. So there's softwares out there that help you track the orders, help you track like the products you're buying. So yeah, it's pretty much that. Like, people go in there, like, you don't want to build a business if you want to be the employee in your business. You want to build a business that works without you. So that's pretty much what I, right out the back, like, okay, cool, now fuck that. Like, you don't want to do that. Learn how to get out of it, create a system.
Did you have this mindset when you were an employee, like before starting Amazon? Were you always in this mindset?
Yeah, pretty much. So I have 4 years of sales experience, like business to business. Mm-hmm. And I was doing pretty good at my last job, my first sales job. But I wanted to learn how a software company worked. So I literally took a pay cut to go work for a software company. And then in there, I'm like, okay, how is HR working? How is the developers working? How are the salespeople working? So I try to understand how all these departments work. Like the softwares they use in place to talk to each other, to place orders, to keep all that. Because I understood that I'm in a system. I'm just a factor in a system. But throughout that process, I learned how the whole system works. So I understood how one department couldn't work without the other. So, but it wasn't always like that. It was more, I guess that mindset shifted around like 21 after reading E-Myth. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I read that book and I'm like, oh shit. Like,
if you're a business owner, you need to read that book 100%.
E-Myth. Yeah. Really good book. Recommended by a lot of big entrepreneurs, to be honest.
Yeah, and if you're a business owner, it's like a 101.
Yeah, literally. If you're a business owner and you're still the employee, that's the worst job you can have.
Yeah.
You're doing it all.
Exactly. I mean, that's how you start off. And let's be honest, like we all need to start somewhere.
It sucks.
But you can't stay there. You can't stay there forever. You need to always be looking to like improve. We're looking to delegate, to automate. Like right now with the AI, as you said, like there is so many tools. And if you're not taking advantage of it, if you're still in the old school, you're getting behind. Like there is somebody else applying those tools and they're getting ahead. Because at the end of the day, when you're a business owner, you need to understand that there is a market out there. There's more people working towards the same goal. Like they want to be the best at the game, at that business. So if you outwork them, then your business are gonna perform. It's simple.
And then people don't really understand the definition of work. Like they just think it's like the more hours I put in, the better I do, or the better I am, like better than my competitors. It's like, no, the more output that comes out of like the amount of hours you put. Like Elon Musk, he made the most money in 1 year, like 200 billion. He didn't work. He had the same 24 hours in a day that you and the other guys.
Exactly.
That doesn't mean he worked harder. He just had better systems and was able to delegate in a more efficient way.
And here's the thing. I mention a lot of mentors because I believe it's not a shortcut because you still have to go through shit, but they give you a bunch of information and a bunch of experience that they've been through. And that gives you kind of like an edge of how things are going to be looking. Like you already know that, for example, if you are my mentor in this Amazon stuff, you can teach me, okay, you can actually make it faster if you get some business funding. So like it's just ways to actually like fast track your business journey, because a lot of people wants to start being an entrepreneur. They want to start a business, but they don't know what to do. They need somebody like guiding you, like, look, you're gonna do this. This is how you start. As you said, your mindset. For me, that's the foundation. That's why I started my community. I started my community because I wanted to change people's mindset. People wants to start a business. They want to start a side hustle, but they don't have the right mindset. So they don't actually like, they're not successful. And then I actually switch it over because that's the other thing. People think they already have the mindset. And it's like, no, dude, you don't. But it's fine, you know? So I actually started offering all this information about the diplomatic immunity and the correction status, the status correction, I mean. So they can learn about the system, because that's another thing. A lot of people are living here in the United States and they don't even know how it works. They don't even know that there's a whole corporation. That is basically, they own you. They own your name. They own your assets. They own your salary. They know everything that you do, every single movement. That's basically what my community is focused on.
That's nice.
Yeah, I mean, I tried to talk about mindset all the time because that was my first topic. But what I'm teaching is this diplomatic stuff that I'm also learning at the same time. So I use it in my convenience as well, so I can learn and teach, so I retain more information.
Yeah.
And I'm doing the practice as well. Like I need to do a bunch of paperwork by myself. Basically, like I became my own lawyer, and I'm learning about law and all this stuff all the time. And I think we all need to. It's not like you need to become a lawyer, you need to get a license, but at least the basics of law, so you can defend yourself. Because sometimes, like, you know that we don't even need a driver license.
No, I didn't know that.
No, bro. Like when you get a driver license, when you get the birth certificate, all this stuff is you applying to get in the system. So like people don't even know that. And when a police officer stops you, like they have the right to like put you into jail if they want to. They can, I don't know if you've seen it, but they can create a case in a second and be like, we're going to jail, because they have the right. You basically apply for it. So like I'm literally, so I already told you, I came to the United States when I was 14. I actually had the opportunity to get the papers. I had my green card, and I opted out. I opted out to get a sovereign status.
Nice.
And
that was at 14?
No. When I came to the country, I was 14.
Oh, okay.
I opted out when I was 20.
Okay.
So basically, you're a sovereign, and that's the whole process that you have to go through to become a diplomatic. You can't be a United States citizen if you want to become a diplomatic. So you have to like opt out the citizenship, then go through a process of being a sovereign, then you can become a diplomatic. It's a whole process that you actually need to learn the law and apply it yourself and all that stuff. But for me, it's worth it because, yeah, I could make millions and millions of dollars, but if I lose them tomorrow, it's like worthless. So at this point, I'm basically putting everything into a trust. There is irrevocable, so not even I can touch it. Like there is assets that I can touch, but I control it. So I don't own them. If anybody is searching for the things that I don't own anything, but I control it. So that's what I have learned. It's in this country, you don't need to own anything. You need to control everything. I mean, your assets or the things that you have, right? Have you ever heard about that before or not?
No, I have, but not to this degree. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like I had a friend talk to me about it. I think like a year and a half ago, and he recommended a book. Forgot the name of it, but it had to do with taxes. It had to do with that being a diplomatic. And the crazy story is like his mom didn't believe him, so he told me about that. And then he told his mom, he's like, "Mom, go to the hospital, the one I was born in, and ask for my birth certificate." She did that, and like they just couldn't find it. She had to go to another place to get it. I forgot the name of it.
Yeah, they wouldn't give it to you because that's basically if you get that and you return that.
I think it's birthrights. I don't know. It's like the day, the time, like writing that you were.
The thing is that there is one birth certificate that goes to your state and the other one to like the district or something. So there is two different birth certificates, and you basically need to opt out of one, and the other one you claim it because you don't claim it. Like nobody teaches you that you have to claim your birth certificate. So they do. That's what they own you. And what you do is like you claim it, and you like once you become 18, you're a living. You have your living state, and that's how you have the power over like a bond that they create for you. So even that we already have some resources in the United States, there is even more. We just don't know about it. There's nobody teaching this. And this is actually all real. Like if you search up all the laws, like they tell you like how it works, but they don't teach you how it works. So it's out there. Like there's a bunch of people that have this status. They just don't teach it. But getting out of that topic and coming back to how we started with the mindset. So for me, when I started having like success, but I didn't have the mindset, I was making a lot of wrong decisions. Could you relate to that?
Yeah.
Could you relate to like starting to like having success in the business and just like, celebrating or whatever, and you don't take care of momentum. And that actually happened to me. But I believe that thanks to that, I learned from it. And now, like, thanks to that, I'm the person that I am today, Okay. Can you relate to that? Like,
yeah, for sure. I mean, there were several times, I'm not gonna lie to you. So the whole thing with my business is like we're buying products to resell. The thing is you have to be very synchronized with like the systems you have because you have to track the products, all that. So there was one time where I think I spent like $22,000 like in like 4 hours. Like I think it was Adidas. Yeah, Adidas had a sale, and in 4 hours I spent $22,000. And I didn't really have like an optimized system to keep track of all the specific products, the specific Amazon listings of those products I was buying, because you could have, one shoe could have 3 different listings, or a pair of socks would be on 7 different listings. So I placed all the orders, and then days passed by and the orders were coming in. And then the prep center that I was working with, they were like, "Hey, we have all these products. They're not on your sheet." And I'm like, okay, I was supposed to have my virtual assistant put those products in the sheet. Not only did I not tell them, but I didn't really have them on the sheet for him to do it. So I'm like, oh my God. And like, I just had to go back, and there was some products that I just put them on the wrong listing. So it was one of those where I'm like, okay, I did my job and left. Like I didn't really think about like what's going to happen. Like I should probably focus on putting them on the sheet correctly. So that was one. It's just also like all the money you get back, in the beginning you think like, okay, I just want to reinvest and buy more products, but you should also invest in more like softwares, better softwares out there, other education, different mentorship groups. So you should align yourself in a way where you can manage your money better when it comes back. Say, okay, I should probably put like 7% towards the operation and then the rest into products. So that's something that like, throughout the years, the months you learn. But those are times pretty much. Yeah.
And how old are you right now?
24.
So And when did you start the whole business?
I started it last year in March, so it's been like a year and a month. Yeah,
Nice. So you could say that you become a business owner like in a year and a half.
I mean, I quit my job in 3 months. Like I grew pretty fast, so I had to learn a lot super fast.
But you know that most people don't get to do that fast, right?
Yeah, I know. I see why. There's a lot of fuck ups. There's a lot of ways you could just you're spending money on products. You could spend 50,000 on shady products that don't sell, and you're done. So there's a lot of ways that it could just go wrong.
So you could say that it's more focuses in the things that not to do than the things that you have to do. So you can, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know. With humans, we're very like negative thinkers.
Mm-hmm.
So if you could think of like, okay, how could I fuck up, and then backtrace like, okay, let me not do that. So I should implement that. I haven't thought of that. Like that makes sense because there's so many ways you could fuck up. So.
I mean, if you think about it, you reduce the risk of not fucking up because you're like, okay, I know that I don't supposed to do this, so this is not the way of doing it.
Yeah.
Because we learn as we go. Like as a business owner, I didn't know about accounting at first. I didn't know about like taxes or anything like that. I didn't know that I could write off stuff. And then I got a CPA. Then I learned about it. Then I was like, okay, there's a better way than saving taxes. Then you learn as you go, right? But that's as being an entrepreneur, right? Like you learn through mistakes, you learn through mentors, you learn through experiences.
Yeah.
That's why, like, I believe not everybody can be an entrepreneur. Not everybody can take the risk. Not everybody can take there is a bunch of stress that we go through and people don't see it. They just see the wins.
Yeah.
And also because we don't show that, I guess.
Yeah.
I guess like
I wish I could show the amount of times I fucked up.
I guess we need like a cameraman like 24/7.
And I think that's different. Like being an entrepreneur now is different than back then, much easier because of that. Like what you said, communities. Like you have a community, right? I'm pretty sure everyone's talking about like their L's, like and then their mistakes. Same here. And I wish I had a community when I first started, because when I first started, there was one mistake I made. So one way to pretty much increase the margin with your products is buying gift cards.
Okay.
So I spent $14,000 on gift cards on a brand that I couldn't even sell. So these were gift cards and I'm like, oh my God, because I placed all the orders and then they all got canceled. So I'm stuck with all these gift cards. And I'm like, okay, I have two choices. Either resell them for a little bit of an L or go to like the store and use those gift cards.
Because you couldn't use them online?
So I'll explain. So pretty much I ended up going with the store. Okay. I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm just going to go to the store and like hustle it. Like I'll buy the products with the gift cards. All the products that I bought, I couldn't buy. I mean, I couldn't sell because it was a brand that I couldn't sell. And I didn't know that. I didn't know that until I bought all the merchandise. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm stuck with $14,000 worth of products now, which is even worse, that I can't sell. I'm like, okay, let me go return it, which was crazy because it was like clothes. So you do think about $14,000 worth of clothes. Like I would go in there with like 50 humongous black garbage bags, like just returning. They hated me. I lost money in the process because I couldn't keep track of the receipts. So if I had a community, I would have asked like, yo, I'm going to do this. Like, what do you guys think? No. It's like, okay, cool.
Because you learn from people.
That saves a month and headaches and $14,000 or whatever that I could use to make more money. So.
No, 100%. I relate to that because I'm very big on masterminding. I mean, right now, every time I do a podcast, for me, it's like masterminding. I'm sharing information that you don't know and you're sharing information that I don't know. I don't know shit about Amazon. I never try to do Amazon. I tried drop shipping once, but it's nothing compared to Amazon. Like it's a whole different game.
Yeah.
So like masterminding for me is very important. You get to learn from people and like from their experience. So I like to mastermind with people that are in a certain level in their industry because they gone through mistakes.
Yeah.
For you to get to that level, you need to go through mistakes. There is no way that you're successful and you never made a mistake. There is no way. And that's how you learn. So if I can listen to your mistakes and learn from them, I'm learning right now.
Yeah. Don't do that. Console, like ask anyone, like, yo, Should I do this?
No, 100%.
Yeah.
That this is why I do this, because not only I'm learning, the people that are watching, they're learning. So it's like everybody is learning. In my community, you are learning. That's part of it. That's what I want to live. I want to live like that knowledge. It's wisdom for everybody.
Yeah. So they don't make the mistakes. And again, I wish I had that. So that would have saved me a lot of time and money, pretty much.
So tell me about your partner. How you guys work? So
Yeah.
he stays here, and you told me that you were living there in the warehouse.
Yeah.
So like he stays here, and then you process all the products there.
Yeah. So Max, man, he's my best friend. I met him in high school. We tried doing a business before, like I'm talking about when I was 18, like years ago. It was long story short, like a pyramid scheme, pretty much, network marketing. And he ended up going under someone else. And I'm like, dude, fuck this guy. Like, I never want to talk to this guy again. That was our plan. Like, I literally, from 18 to 21, I didn't talk to him. So I met him again through a mutual, and we ended up going to the club together. And I'm like, all right, whatever. It was years ago. But from 18 to 21, I didn't party. I was, you know how people have like their college life?
Yeah.
From 18 to 21, I literally just did an internship, started my career in sales, just didn't do anything. Like, I literally didn't go out once. So when he saw me at 21, he's like, dude, this guy just like, he financed a house. He has like his career going. Like, what is he doing? Like, whatever. Started talking to me. And then I would go out with him like to the clubs or whatever. Then I stopped. He was like, you're not gonna go out. I'm like, no, bro. Like, why? Like, like, you're working a job. I'm working a job. Like, what are we doing? And then his mindset started shifting. But then we tried different things. We tried doing Amazon wholesale, and we would buy from like suppliers outside the US. The shipping time was like months. It was a risk because we would have to place like $7,000 on the same product. So we would have to overbuy. That wasn't pretty. And then he started doing Amazon, looking into it more and more. I'm like, all right, fuck this, bro. Like, Amazon's, that didn't even make sense. So I just started like focusing on my job. And then he was doing Amazon at a small scale. He would go to like the Nike outlets and just buy Nike shoes, go to Dolphin Mall, right? He would go there, just buy products. But now I'm pretty much in the warehouse up in New Hampshire, and he's managing the suppliers out here in Florida. He's making sure that the system I'm putting up there in New Hampshire is going to be replicated in the prep center that we're partnered with here in Medley. It's in Medley, Florida, around there. So he wants to put the same system in there, manage all the products that are coming in there. Miami has a lot of investors too. So he's helping like with investor relationships, and that's only going to be very temporary. When he's done with like that process, he's going to come back to New Hampshire and like help me finish up the warehouse. Because it's a lot, man. Employee payroll, HR. So that's pretty much his role right now. What I think is important when it comes to having a business partner is communication. Because there's times where like I'm thinking of stuff. And I'm sure there's a lot of times where he's thinking of stuff. It's like, we just need to talk about it. Because I may think of something a different way, and he comes like, yo, let's do this, and it works better. So
I believe it's just more of like a marriage. No, I'm serious. I used to have a business partner as well. And actually he went the wrong way because he didn't communicate.
Yeah.
And that was one of our rules when we started the business. It's like, whatever you're feeling, whatever is going through your head, you need to tell me, because I don't know everything. I'm not able to read your mind. So like, he didn't tell me that he was feeling like off, and he actually did a fucked up move, and I trust him, and he took a bunch of clients. And in this business that I told you about that I started on dog services, he took a bunch of memberships here in Sunny House. Like, I'm telling you, like 30 grand on members every month. So he just didn't tell me that he was feeling off, and he took the business, he duplicated, and now he got his own thing. And I resigned. I did everything because he told me like, oh, I got a better opportunity, whatever. But it's true, like, communication in a partnership is it's crucial. Like, it's basically like a marriage. You need to be in a good relation with your partner and be aligned with everything. Like, whatever you're thinking, you need to agree with me, and I need to agree with you.
So I think like having a business partner is good, but I think like now that I'm realizing, because it's 4 of us now, but Max and I, we're running the prep center.
Okay.
but 4 of us have our own Amazon stores. We're all Amazon sellers. So it's actually better to have a team. The reason that is because if I make a wrong move, even though we all thought it was good and it was, it just hurt me most, I can rely on Max to kind of help me out with more credit, with being able to send more investors my way, like help me find products, and then vice versa. We have Julian and Joseph. I'm over here. Max is here too right now. Like we're both in Miami, but we have Julian and Joseph in the warehouse. So they're dealing with the operations, like if products coming in, they're receiving it, they're helping put the racks up, communications with suppliers over there. And then when I go back, Julian is gonna go back to Miami, like come back here for like 5 days, do his own thing. But then is me and Joseph over there running things. So it's like if you have a team and you guys are all on the same page, it just becomes super powerful because three guys could get extremely like fucked, like they're done, they're about to go bankrupt. That one guy could just help. Yeah. And that's one thing, like I used to have a mindset where I was very selfish. I would always be like, yes, I have a business partner, but like, oh my God, that's like derailing from me thinking of my own business, like my own Amazon store. Like I want to build it. But if you actually help him, he'll get more powerful. And then he'll help you in the cases that you're going to be down, because there's a lot of times where you will be down. Like it will happen where you're like, oh my God, I might just go bankrupt. It's happened in a lot of businesses where you just make a wrong move. You're like, dude, but if you have someone you could, have as a backup, if they're not that powerful, you're done. So investing in your team is actually really big. And I'm starting to like try to learn about it. Like, how could I help Joseph get more capital? How could I help Julian be better at finding products? Because then that's going to help me. So that's something I'm trying to like.
I totally agree with you. I believe we're kind of selfish in the beginning because our business is going well for us and it's like a little baby for us. It's basically like a child and we're just trying to protect it. It's like, I don't want anybody to fuck up my child. So that's how I see it. It's like I don't, and also like you're like I work my ass off to get this shit here. Why would I like give it to somebody, like for somebody to also enjoy my business, But once you think about that, about the team, like the team is so important to scale, because if you want to scale, having the right team is key. Like you can only go so far by yourself. But with a team, you can go far and beyond, because as you said, you build them up with their credit, and now there's 4 guys with business credit, and can buy a bunch of inventory. So it's like, is having the right team, to be honest, and trust.
Yeah, trust is huge. Trust is very huge. And that's another thing. You can't do that with like 99% of people. There have to be like. Max and I it was just Max and I for like, I don't know, a year. Then we met Julian and Joseph, like literally at the same time. And we're like, okay, could we trust him? And we would have talks where like, I don't know, Julian's a little weird. Like, do we trust him? But then like we would do tests. Like you should test your team. Like, I don't know. I'm trying to think of a test. I think I needed help with something. I don't know. But whatever, you have tests for them. And if they pass it, then you're like, okay, I could trust. And then little by little, you just help them become more powerful.
You build that relationship. You build that trust, as you said, because you can't really do this with everybody. I mean, they need to have the right mindset and know that they're not going to fuck you over. I mean...
that's hard to find.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Like, you can't really, like, just go in a partnership with anybody. But once you know that somebody has the right mindset and you do the test, you're like, okay, I can actually trust them. And you just give them a little bit more trust until like, you're like, here you go. It's a contract. Let's partner up. That's how I see it. I mean, I wouldn't go to a partnership just like right away. It will be a total fuck up just because they didn't have to work for it. They wouldn't see the value. So it will be easier to fuck up, right? And that's actually what I think happened to me. But I don't regret it. I never felt bad about the clients that he took because I got them. I know how to market myself. I know how to I build it myself from zero. But what I was fucked up, it was my friendship with him, because he also was my best friend. Like I met him on high school. He was like one of my first friends in the United States. I didn't speak the language, and he was like such a nice guy. He was like, bro, if you can think about a nice person, he wasn't the nicest. I never thought he would do that. And then when he did that, I was like, wow, like, fuck. The relationship was what actually hurt me, you know?
For sure.
But I learned from it. Like, a partnership, you need to take it like very serious. And the legal papers, the legal stuff, I wouldn't just like let him go like that, you know? Because he was in charge of most of my clients. And he was like, yeah, you will get your clients back. I'm leaving the company, whatever. I'm doing something else. Nah, bro, he was leaving my clients.
Took everything.
Took everything.
Oh my God.
And I took a little hit, but I mean, it's fine, you know. I'm still 21. I'm still young, and I'm striving to like get more. Like I'm hungry as hell. I seen one of your students. He was running a call the other day. I forgot his name, but he's doing pretty good.
Oh, nice.
I met him because there are some kids that are running like TikTok shop,
Nice.
drop shipping, e-commerce. And it's insane how like kids here in Miami with 16, 18, 19, like they're making millions on internet, you know? And they have the mindset. They're like grinding every fucking day. They up to their stuff. They are learning. They're self-improving. So like they make me hungry. They give me like, they inspire me to be better. And like, if they are doing it, I can. Like,
Literally.
there is no difference, as you said. Like, we all have the 24 hours. We all have a brain. We all have the capacity to do it. We're in the United States. We all got the same resources. Some of us don't know how to get those resources. But if you're really hungry, I believe that you can get it. Like, you can get the information for somebody. That's how I did it. Like, I was hungry. I really wanted to start my business, and I started building it up, starting an LLC, and then starting a bank account, and get credit cards, and marketing, and that's what it started running. But if you never like get out of that comfortable zone, if you never get like curious, like, how do I start a business? What is cash flow? What is accounting? Like, all these questions that you need to ask yourself when you're starting. You know? So yeah, I mean, if you could talk to yourself in the beginning, like when you started your business, what would you tell? What would you tell yourself? Like,
when I started entrepreneurship, or like my business?
No, when you started entrepreneurship, what would you tell yourself? Like, bro, I will do this, or I will do that. Like,
yeah, I mean, so I stopped fixing iPhone screens because I want to play football. So I would be like, dude, don't play football. Like, you're gonna have stores. Like, just keep doing that. Because I was getting like easy like 10 clients a week.
Nice.
At 16, I was just like, it would take me 20 minutes to fix your phones and they would dip. So yeah, I mean, and then I had I could talk about like Amazon store because that one really took off. I had another one, but it was unethical. I was doing vapes.
Me
to Ecuador, and I felt bad. I'm like,
I did it in high school. That one I was reselling like Juuls.
Oh, okay. So I put a brand. I got in touch with the same manufacturer as Kuvi. I made them put my logo on a vape, and I exported it to Ecuador. And I got contracts with gas stations, but it's just like I stopped because like, bro, South America, like you're gonna see a 12-year-old girl walk around with a vape,
and it's your brand, and you're like, fuck, I don't feel good about
that. No, so I'm like, all right, no epidemic. If I could talk to myself at Amazon when I first started Amazon, I would say, definitely invest in your team, create a team, and then just be part of a community. Because there was just a lot of times where I couldn't, like, all the mistakes I made, I really should have made if I talked to people or like just got more into the space of like, e-commerce or selling on Amazon.
Maybe if you were more open-minded.
Open-minded for sure.
Because what I understand is that you wanted to do everything by yourself. You had that ego telling you like, oh, I already know what to do or whatever. Yeah. Because that's kind of what I tell people. You need to get rid of your ego, bro. You don't know shit. Yeah. Because once you start learning, you figure out there is so much more. And it's like, you never stop learning. So you need to drop your ego. And it's like, you know what? Like, I'm going to learn from everybody. I learn from my students. I learn from everybody. Like, not only from the people who already made it, from the people that haven't done anything. There is sometimes we have a conversation and I'm like, damn, they made me realize something. Yeah. And it's like, you can really learn from everybody. We're in having an experience in this life, and it's about learning. You need to wake up and just learn. Like, live and learn. Literally like that.
Yeah. No, that's yeah, I would say I was a little stubborn, hard-headed. I did think I was a shit. I mean, dude, you hit 62K your second month, you're like, all right, like I'ma just drill down and like fuck everyone. And yeah, I should have done that. I should have definitely just, because there's people, bro, that were selling a million a month. And I'm like, all right, let me just, like, I'm the shit. Like, fuck these guys. And then, yeah, I got fucked. Lost money.
When you get that first success, you do, like, your ego goes up and you're like, I don't know, I feel you. Like, you did it by yourself and you feel powerful because you're like, okay, I know how to do this. Like, this is my shit. But at the end of the day, there is someone better, and you always want to like humble yourself and learn from them, so you can like become like them.
Yeah,
or even better. That's why I like mentors and stuff. Also, I'm big on exchanging value. That's what I do now. For example, I have my coach for boxing, as I said before, that I'm boxing, and I had this skill of content creation. I know how to make content, whatever. So I make his content, and he's my private coach. He was a professional boxer, bro. And for me, like, he got so much value. And when I joined the gym, I was doing weights, and now I don't really like weights. I like calisthenics. So I was like, fuck it, like, I'm gonna do calisthenics. Then I met him, and bro, I fall in love with boxing. Like, it's just so good to learn. Like, it's just like a business. When things are going sideways, when like an opponent is coming to you, you need to know how to pivot. You know, the same thing. And it's like the same thing in business. And I'm learning so much through practicing boxing. It's insane. Like, nothing to do with business, but it has so much to do. Like, I don't know how to explain it. Also, the discipline of keeping your head down and just like grinding every day, you know, receiving punches, like making mistakes in your business, and, you know, learning from them, because you can only call it a mistake if you do it twice. That's how I see it. If you're making it, if you do something wrong today, and tomorrow, like, it comes the opportunity for you to do it differently, and you do, it's not a mistake. You learn from it. So that's how I see it. Like, I learn from my mistakes. Same thing.
I resonate with that, because so what you just said is another mindset thing. I forgot the exact verbiage, but it's like, if you find success in something, apply it to others. So like, when I would play I played in football in high school. I was wide receiver, so I would catch the ball and run. And every time there was an open hole, like, you know, the defense is like split up, there's a hole, I would just run through the hole. Same with business. You find that one opportunity, you're not going to find much holes around. You got to fly through it. You got to go all the way. Because if not, like, that's it. You're stuck. It's not like, so you have two choices: either go right through it or be stuck. It's not like you go right through it and you go far, or you go a little bit. It's like, no, you go right through it or you're stuck. So I apply that with business as well.
Yeah, I relate to that, because we don't get opportunities every day.
No,
like,
it's hard.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So my biggest takeaway from boxing is staying ready for those opportunities to hit the target. Because what I learned from my coach is that in boxing, there is literally minimal seconds where you can score, when you can actually hit somebody. So once they lower the defense or anything, that's the opportunity. It's just like in life. Like, there's going to be opportunities, and you need to be ready. So that's why, like, the discipline of practicing every day. So when you're in that fight and the opportunity comes, you can score, because they don't come every day. So it's you staying ready, like, every day, practice, you stay ready, you hit the target. It sounds simple, but some people are just lazy and they don't have the discipline to do it daily.
Yeah.
But for me, that's the most important thing, being disciplined to stay ready for that opportunity.
No, that's crazy. Like, I was thinking of another one, because in football, it's also like, when it's your time, it's your time. So if a competitor is kind of down and you find like kind of an advantage over them, like a new system or something they're not doing. Like in my case, these Amazon communities, they don't have a prep center. So when I thought of them, I'm like, all right, I gotta go. So like, when it's your time and when coach tells you come in, or it's like, you know, it's your turn, like, you got to go in there with something that the other guy wasn't doing. Either the other guy sucked, or he just wasn't catching the ball correctly. communities, they didn't scale because of the amount of value they provided. So that's another one I'm trying to implement. There's several things like in-person events. There's a lot of them that they're not doing that. It's just little things. They're called value-added benefits. Like, you understand where you're going. You're going in there to learn. But the other side benefits are like, you get to network, you get to grow psychologically, right? Because there's other people that are very friendly. Like, we don't just accept anyone. That's another thing. You actually have to apply. And it's not just one of those, like, we have like 3 spots left. It's like, no, I have to talk to you and be like, do you have the time for it? Do you have the money? Like, how's your mindset? Like, what do you do? Like, where are you from? Like, so it's value-added benefits. But I think with Amazon, because I understand you're in real estate, right?
Yeah.
So
I'm into entrepreneurship. I mean,
you're all around it.
As an entrepreneur, you do several things. You don't do only one. Because, I mean, if you think about it, there is people, they have a whole business only for credit.
Yeah.
And you already run it. So you could literally open a business for credit if you want to.
We will.
So, I mean, being an entrepreneur is doing many things. And you don't do only one. But yeah, I'm into real estate.
Yes. So, you know about credit as well.
Of course.
So how's credit in real estate for you? Because I know you talked about like getting credit cards. It's like, I know you could like cash out credit cards. You could put it for a down payment. But that's like, dude, you need a lot of credit for like a down
Not really. Because when you're starting out, when it's just like your first property, you can get an FHA. And that's a 3% down.
Nice.
And the thing is that when you get an FHA, you can only buy an amount of the property. It can be like a 2 million, 5 million. Like the max here, for example, in Miami-Dade, the max is for a fourplex is like 1,200,000. So like that's the max that you could buy, right? And you only have to put 3% down. So like you could cash out on a credit card or maybe on many credit cards and put it as a down payment. But the thing with real estate and credit, it's not complicated. It's the same thing. The thing is that you're taking 2 different credits. It's on the credit cards and then the mortgage. So that's how you could literally go and get a house with 0% down.
That's fire.
But you could. Like, everything is freaking possible in here. And also, something else that I'm learning right now is about church. Bro, church, once you own a church, bro, I'm scared. Like, once you own a church, you literally are so powerful because it's almost as the same status as a diplomatic, but in a big entity. So you can take credit, loans, grants, and all this stuff to buy real estate, acquire businesses, all you want with a church. Wow. So the thing with the United States is that you can even buy a church. Like you don't have to like start from zero right now and build up this history and all that stuff. You can just buy it with all the history, the credit score, all that stuff, and start acquiring real estate, acquiring businesses. As you know, like we don't really have to build a business from zero. You can just acquire it.
Yeah.
So I actually have thought about that, like getting some funding and just like acquiring like an e-commerce brand or like a Amazon store. Because at the end of the day, like if you know how it works, or you, for example, I know you and you're like, I'm telling you like, bro, I have this opportunity. Somebody is selling me this store. Can you check it out? Like, let's buy it. And like you manage it. Like we have 50-50 or something. Yeah. So like for me, that's like my next step now. Is like acquisition more than building shit from zero. Because once you have a status, once you have resources, it's like, yes, you need to learn from it, but you actually need to get the people that are the best at it. Yeah. And you just a piece on the puzzle. You should just that's how Elon Musk did it. Like I have tried to study like the big people, and that's how they do it. Like they find the right people to be in their team. As we said, like the team is very important, but you need to get the right people in that position. Yeah. You can't be doing it all. And the position that you are going to be in, it needs to be like your role, like what you're best at. No, you can't be like doing the graphic designer if you're not the best at it, you know? That's how I think. Like these people, like I try to like not compare myself, but learn from them so like I can apply the same way, you know?
And there's people that have done that. What they do is they leverage their skills. So like a good example is Jamie Dimon is a CEO of Chase. So when he was working with like small banks, he knew how to delete bad debt.
Sorry to interrupt, but I just sent him a letter.
Jamie Dimon?
Yeah, because as I stay national, my financial institutions, I need to talk to them so I can change my status in the banks.
That's crazy.
Because when you apply for a credit card or anything in the bank, they give you these contracts we don't even read. And all this shit is basically giving the control of your securities. And your securities, like, you should have the control of it. But because they own you and they own your power of attorney and all this shit, like, they basically, like, they have the control of your money, right? But I sent them a letter.
No, that's crazy. It's CEO of Chase.
I know. I sent him a letter removing the power of attorney and giving it back to me. Wow. But yeah, keep talking.
That lets you know like how powerful these people are. Like,
No.
He's the CEO of a company. He's like, what does he have to do with your status?
No. It's insane because these big corporations are so well structured. Like, they have a trustee, and that trustee is not even in that company. And basically, you have to talk to like the legal department, the trustee, the CEO, like all the big people, and know what to send them. There is some paperwork that I have to send to the legal department. There is some paperwork that I have to send to a CEO, like a 1099. They deal with like the taxation stuff. And like, it's just different stuff that I've been learning. But it's funny because now you're telling me about it. It's like, you're sending me a letter on the mail.
Yeah, but Jamie Dimon, man. So he had kind of like what you're thinking, right? But he was already like doing it for 15 years. He knew something that a lot of banks didn't know or didn't know how to do that well. I'm pretty sure it's called deleting bad debt. Learning how to just take away that bad debt. Banks just struggled with that. That's why Chase is so reliable. They have the most assets under management because they understand not to be full of risk. So every financial crisis, they're never fucked. They're actually the least fucked. They're the ones to buy the banks. So Chase, with Jamie, he understood how to delete bad debt. So immediately, the company had like 2 times more money to use because there was half the people there. And then when it comes to banks, there's people that invest in the interest that in the loans that they give out. So he took off all the people that were investing in those interests because he wanted to take away investors that invest in risk. He wants to delete bad debt. So he just wants to like his numbers to not be skewed with bad debt. So he would just have like really good positive revenue that was like just the bank offering services. Like that was the only profits they were making. So he built an operation around that, scaled it up, eventually got fired. But then that's when Chase is like, hey, do you want to be our CEO? So now he's like,
now that you mentioned
biggest
that,
banker.
Now that you mentioned that, yes, you can buy that. You can literally go to the treasury.com and buy that, because the thing is that once you get a credit card, that's a security. And when you apply and you sign the contract, you give your power of attorney, so they can manage your securities and they have the power over it. So they can take this security and sell it on the secondary market. And this could be even internationally. So yes, I actually understand all this stuff that you're telling me, and like it was smart, like that he did that.
They just removed it all.
Yeah,
it was all positive. But as far as like real estate, what made you want to get into that other than just like you networking and you just meet individuals?
Well, I like,
what are your plans in real estate?
I would say I attract the owner of the company, because I was looking at real estate like in a long-term investment. It's crucial to do this wealth preservation that I'm talking about because of taxes, because of appreciation, because of cash flow. There's so many benefits that also, like, it's not like a business. A business is more risk, it's more stress, it's more about building a big team, so everybody needs to be in their position. But in real estate, you can be good with a manager, like a property manager, and probably like at some point with an accountant and like, a little team, and you can build a big portfolio. Right. And you can like do acquisitions and do a bunch of stuff that you can pivot inside real estate. Also, like if you sell real estate, you don't have to pay taxes if you buy like within 30 days another property and stuff like that. So there is many loopholes and many ways to increase your wealth in real estate. That's why like I got started on it. And my plans are to like invest in multifamilies And then at some point in a big units, like 36 units, 50 units. I don't know if you heard of Grant Cardone.
Yeah.
So like this guy is basically like getting a bunch of money from investors.
Liquidity pools.
Yeah, and like he's making it so easy right now that you can invest like $1,000 and you get a return. You know, he made it basically like a stock that you can put as much as you want and you will get a return, like I don't know, 10%, 8, 9, whatever. But he's making bank because he's acquiring all this real estate and he owns it. Well, his company, whatever. And then he's giving them, the little return to the investors. So I believe like if you know your ways on real estate, you can scale and become wealthy without being so stressed like in a business, So for me, it was like the long-term thinking of the real estate investments. And I always educate myself in the real estate sector of law and how to like the numbers work, because real estate is just a numbers game. It's not that hard. Like once the numbers match, like get it. Like it's not really hard. Like real estate is just a matter of numbers and having the right connections. That's all you need.
It doesn't sound like you need a lot of manpower then. You could literally just do it from a couple of people, like just scale up.
Yeah, you can start with yourself. Like you buy your first property, you manage it yourself, because at the end of the day, if something goes wrong in the property that you have to fix, you're not going to fix it yourself. You have to hire somebody and stuff like that. So when you're a manager and there is something missing in the house or something is wrong, you just call somebody to fix it, So you as a manager, you can start investing in real estate and manage it yourself without like paying a commission.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's pretty easy. And I actually suggest everybody to get into real estate because the wealthiest own real estate and it's something that is always appreciating.
Yeah, that's very true.
It's not the same as a business. A business is more active. It's something that you could leverage and scale way faster. But at some point, I will put my money on real estate. Like I will tell somebody like, bro, you need to start getting real estate. Because as I said, like you in your business, you get sued once, and it's so easy to get sued.
Yeah.
So like you get sued once and you can lose it all. Mm-hmm. So real estate, trust. There is one more thing, life insurance for wealth preservation. So basically life insurance is kind of like becoming your private bank, because you have this policy that you put your own money and it's like you can borrow against it. So it's like instead of having a bank and borrowing from the bank, you borrow from your own policy. And there's just multiple ways that I just been learning, because I need to be sure that I'm building this empire that I want, but I'm building it right. It's not just like a bunch of money and then I'm gonna make a bunch of wrong decisions and everything is gonna fall off, because that will be actually like, I don't know, that will be sad, after working so hard and then everything just going down is like, wow, like everything to the trash. No, I'm structuring like my corporations very well. So I'm not gonna lose, like it's just wealth. Like if you study the wealthy people, you know how the system works. You know how they operate. You know that they create trust. They create their own private bank. They have their own things. Like once you create this trust, it's basically creating an own entity, but an irrevocable trust is something that nobody can touch, not even yourself. Foreign trust isn't even better, because it's like, not even if they sue you or not even if they find out that that's your trust, they can't touch it. So you could put your car into the foreign trust, and if they want to take your car for some reason, let's say that you didn't pay the car loan, they can't take it because you don't even own it.
Yeah, it's true.
So
you have nothing.
It's all these stuff that once you learn it, it's like it's a system that you just need to know how it works. And play yourself, because I'm sure that you have figured it out with Amazon. There are systems in Amazon that you find loopholes, and it's the same thing with America. America is a whole system that once you learn it and you figure it out, you can use the loopholes for your advantage.
It's very true.
That's basically what I'm focused on right now. I'm not really focused on scaling, but I'm focused on my structure because my foundation is what is gonna dictate my success in the long run. That's how I see it.
That's very true. That's something I got to work on, bro. To be honest, because I don't.
We all do. We all do.
My goal is just scale, build from like what you heard, and I got to work on the defense, like protection. But that was good.
Well, I saw for example, Trump. He won a case in the court like not so long ago, and he just because he knows what he's talking about on the law, like he won like $62 million, and once you so it's like he got sued and he ended up making money out of getting sued. So it's like once you know your shit, and there is nobody that can fuck with you. It's literally like that.
It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I can't wait to get to that point where like a police officer, like you see me like speeding and they're like, it can't stop me because my play is like diplomatic, and it's just like that immunity that they don't even know how I got it because nobody's teaching that. They don't teach it to the cops. Sometimes they try to stop you and they can get sued if they stop you. They can lose their badge if they stop you. So there is just a bunch of information that they don't know. The system is not
how to be diplomatic.
Well, not only diplomatic, but I will say like they have the freedom in here in America. We don't have freedom. Like most of us are like trapped in like making more money and not doing all that. But at the end of the day, so sometimes we lose ourselves trying to like make more money or like get to that point where we don't really need to be a slave to money. Like we are free. We have access to all this shit without like having to build a big ass business or big ass corporation. You can literally create your own private bank and your own little system where like you don't have to like do all that. And like, bro, I'm telling you, because I have lost myself sometimes. Like I feel like fuck, I need to like ground or something. I don't feel human. I feel like I'm an alien sometimes. I'm like, I don't stop for hours just studying and making like stuff that nobody's doing. Like, I don't know if you feel that sometimes, but I feel like, what the fuck, bro? I'm 21 and I'm doing shit that nobody's doing. Most of the people are partying. Most of the people are like enjoying themselves. And I'm living by myself, like making shit happen. And it's like, what the hell? So I feel like if I have the freedom of choice of doing whatever I want in this country, I'm like free, literally free. I don't have to worry much about like scaling a business and like killing myself to become that person that I want to become, right?
Yeah, so that's kind of like how I felt when I was working my job, because even though I hit 62K in sales, like I was still working job and I'm like, okay, let me see 3 more months. But then I started realizing like me being in this environment might just fuck up my business because all these people, they're not thinking the way I'm thinking. They're thinking of just working till they retire, and you can't even retire nowadays. It's like, I don't even know why people still talk about it.
I don't know if that's a thing anymore.
There's no pension. No, there's pension's done. So they want to work till they retire, which there's no retirement anymore. And I'm around that I was around that 24/7. So yeah, I'd much rather just leave, figure it out, be around a community of people that think like me, even though my business isn't as stable, and just keep growing. Grow the right way too. It's not like go around the people that you're going against the grain pretty much. Yeah, if you're thinking away, tell anyone, they're gonna tell you the opposite. Your idea sucks, you're crazy, and then you're like, what the fuck is real?
You can't really listen to somebody that don't have the same thing that you're thinking about, like the same mindset, or not even the same mindset, because sometimes you have a crazy ass idea that it might be the next thing, but if you don't believe in yourself enough, you're not gonna make it happen. If you talk to somebody and they're gonna be like, like that shit is crazy, you're gonna be like, yeah, it's crazy, So I am really a believer of believing in yourself. Whatever is going through your head, even if it's crazy, go do it. Go try it out, because that might be the next thing, and you don't need to talk to somebody or get approval from anybody. Like,
very true.
We are so powerful, and we all have a brain that is super powerful. We just don't have the confidence, or we don't believe in ourselves enough to go try these things out.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah, but thank you guys for watching. This was an awesome podcast. This was an awesome conversation with my brother. I mean, we can do another one soon.
Yeah, for sure, bro. I had a lot of fun. Definitely learned a lot about diplomacy. Well, I would even say I know
diplomatic immunity.
That's crazy.
Diplomatic.
Yeah, diplomatic immunity. Like that's something I'm gonna look into because I get pulled over all the time. I'm going like 140 and sheesh. No, yeah, I gotta see that.
Thank you for this. Like, thank you for your time. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Let's do it again.